it all, would you look the fall in the eye? Or would you walk away this time? Do you realize, do you recognize it's never over? Or would you walk away this time? 'Cause we all face the fire as we search for the light in the dead of the night. Will you rise above the days to come? Will it be enough? Or will you walk away this time? Look to your left, to your right, they're by your side. 'Cause we all face the fire as we search for the light in the dead of the night. Feel that rush through time. Can you feel this newfound change? Only yourselves are here again. If you had it all, would you look the fall in the eye? Could you walk away this time? Do you realize, do you recognize it's never over? 'Cause we all face the fire as
And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the second week of the House of Ghouls Invitational. My name is Orbital. I am joined here by Switch. How are you doing today, my man?
Pretty good, my guy. And we have this new patch that's come to us, this bountiful feast. So I'm excited to see if the teams have adapted already to the patches. A lot of different changes, you know?
Yeah, that is definitely true. Today we have Gang 7 versus 16-bit esports, and again, this is the second week, so first week already passed up. We've already seen what some of these teams can do. Are you expecting a good game out of these players?
Yeah, so a little bit of background information. So we do have 2-bit or 16-bit, like you said. They are coming off of a 2-0 best of 3 series last week, so picking up a win there. On the other hand, yeah, we do have Gang 7 coming off of a 1-2 loss. Mm-hmm. So just looking at it on paper, I would favor it towards 16-bit. But hey, I still feel like this is going to be a great series.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. We will be getting into Champion Select shortly, and we will see what they can bring to the table. Obviously, the big talk, though, is that Sylas has been enabled.
Finally!
It took forever, but the man has been unchained from his secondary cell, and we got the Champion Select. So, to give you a little backstory, though, we did do a pro draft before this started because the teams did decide to do that. So, we will not be seeing them pick in the order that we did see in the pro draft. So, to go over that just real quickly, I do want to say the bans will be the same. So, it was Lissandra, Morgana, and Jace getting banned away for Gang 7, not giving over that high tier, CC chain and stuff like that. And on the flip side, 16-bit banned away the Kindred, Zillion, and unfortunately Sylas.
Yep, he's back in the chain, so top pick in this game at least. I mean, this is a best of 3, so we'll see if he's let slid through next game.
That is true. From there, though, it was 3 picks. It was Rek'Sai, first pick for Gang 7 into the Olaf and Soraka. And then followed by an Alistar and Kai'Sa for Gang 7. And then a Vayne to round out the first pick and ban phase, or first pick phase for 16-bit. And kind of walk us through that. That seemed pretty interesting because we saw the mirrored Olaf for the jungle. And then Soraka and Vayne, which we definitely seen explode onto the competitive scene.
Right, yeah, like you said, the Olaf as a reaction to the Rek'Sai, so obviously 16-bit thinking, oh, this is the next best jungler that we want. So picking up the Olaf, Soraka right next to her, and that didn't show too much at the moment. Just said, hey, Enchanter support. By the way, it might be an AFK lane because that's just how Soraka works. On the other hand, we did have Gang 7 picking up the Alistar and Kai'Sa, a very strong duo that scales well into the game as well. Alistar functions as an engager or a secondary follow-up engager as the game goes later and later. And Kai'Sa, very easy to pounce on those opportunities with the killer instinct. And then there was the Vayne as the wild card for the last pick of the first pick phase. And that is an interesting one. I actually think Vayne and Kai'Sa work very similarly. Just Vayne has more damage output and Kai'Sa has a bit more versatility, right? She does have that killer instinct that can go anywhere that CC happens. But Vayne is a powerhouse at the moment. She's been stomping through solo queue, and I think we might just see another.
Yeah, that is pretty big there. And the big question that has to come about is, you know, what goes from here? I do also want to point out that we did have a Pyke pickup in that mid lane. It was a blind Syndra pick into a Pyke pick. So what does that signal for the team as well?
I mean, the Pyke just sort of is a red flag that, okay, we're going to be doing stuff in the mid lane. Pyke is the quintessential kill lane, I would say, especially post 6. You have that execute that can then snowball into more executes. Hopefully Rek'Sai can lock up the Syndra, and that'll lead to some good hooks and a lot of damage coming out from the Pyke. Get priority there, maybe transfer it to the rest of the map, right? You still have that Vayne that's sort of like a ticking time bomb. She's looming over your head and you have to deal with her. Maybe it's going to be the Pyke that roams down.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I mean, we definitely have not seen Pyke for a very long time, but sadly, we also have to see that Urgot was banned away as well. So both Sylas and Urgot not being picked up at all, or honestly, both teams saying that it is now high priority for them to be banned away, which I think is interesting, especially with Urgot's changes.
Right. I personally do not play top lane, but like you said, Urgot did see almost a rework, in my opinion. They kind of shifted his direction from that tank that could execute to now he's a bruiser, now he's a tank shredder, and he does what he did with executing tanks even better. His build might now incorporate a little bit more AD. We might see him pick up Sterak's Gauge alongside that Black Cleaver that he's always been known to run. But like you said, banned. I haven't seen him in solo queue, but he could be strong.
I mean, you have to talk about the biggest change, I think, is to his Purge, as well as to his Fear Beyond Death, right? Fear Beyond Death getting a massive range change. I think it's now rivaling Caitlyn's ultimate. It's 2,500 units. So off the screen, no matter where you are, there is a fair chance you will get hooked.
Yeah, they also, I think, slightly upped the base damage on that too. So just playing more towards that, like sniper Urgot, just scooping up kills wherever you can.
And to go down the lineup, though, we also have to talk about this bottom lane, right? We touched on it a little bit with the Vayne and the Soraka pickup, but this is a tried and true setup here. You have a very all-in combination from the Kai'Sa and the Alistar versus the Vayne and Soraka. And we've seen it go both ways, you know? We've seen sometimes Vayne and Soraka come out on top, depending on if they poke right, if there is no jungle interference, right? And we've also seen Kai'Sa and Alistar come out on top. So which side are you really giving it to this time around?
Really, I see that Vayne has more opportunities to, one, escape the lane, especially because she has Soraka, which is, if anyone's going to help you get out of lane, it's the Soraka, but also later in the game, take over, right? Because Kai'Sa sort of relies on catching you off guard. She'll jump to when you get CC'd, and she'll try and take advantage of that. The thing is, though, Vayne will out DPS you when you're at 2 items, when you're at 3 items, and beyond, in my opinion. And I think she can really provide a lot more pressure in team fights. Also, you have this unique interaction in the laning phase, which we might see, we might not. If you queue up the Condemn for when the Alistar comes in for his Headbutt Pulverize combo, you will just boop him away and he'll waste his Pulverize. So that might be satisfying to see.
Yeah, that's a feels bad moment, but we'll have to see what happens in game number 1 between Gang 7 and 16-Bit Esports. I'm super excited to see what they can do. We will go to a short commercial break, but we will be right back with game number 1, so do not go anywhere.
The night beckons while you dream. A life never lives in peace. As you stand upon the edge, woven by a single thread, and fate may fall down upon you, while the devil is knocking right at your door. So are you restless? Each night you hear the drums of war. Awaken, awaken, the voice begins to call you while you hunger. A taste of destiny you're searching for. Awaken, awaken, the fight is at your door. Take up cause.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to game number 1 between these two titans of teams, or I should say, in the week number 2, a beautiful start, hoping for both of these teams. On the blue side, we do have Gang 7. We have Sicko in the top lane on Vladimir. We have Woe on Rek'Sai. We have Optic Waffles on the Pyke in that mid lane. We have Will Win in that ADC role, and we also have Hit 'em Up Rob in support.
You had to take this one. Sorry.
All right. On 16-Bit Esports, we also have Shaden in the top lane, Ellen in the jungle, Ability Power in the mid lane, Catwife at ADC, and Kai Yusuf on support. So decent lineups from both sides. I'm super excited to see what they can bring to the table.
Yep, and I thought we might see an invade, but apparently not. Just maybe going for some early vision, but not too much different here in this early game. And like I said, one of the power points in this game might just be that Pyke versus the Syndra in the mid lane. Might be trying to take advantage of some of that immobility. Syndra does not have a hard escape, so Rek'Sai might find an easy time getting on top of her.
Mm-hmm. I would have to agree there. That matchup, honestly, I played it a lot with Syndra's, and it's scary having all-in potential, right? Anytime you go up against a champion that has all-in potential, you kind of sit there like, I don't like this situation usually. So it's just a scary situation in general, but if it's the pure one-on-one, I think Ability Power should have a solid lane matchup. So we'll have to see how they go, but going down the lane, Shaden not running that Comet that we usually see, instead opting for the Conqueror.
Yeah, Conqueror has been feeling quite good on Camille now, and I think that's why we're seeing her surge in popularity again after being nerfed so much, getting shoved out of the jungle, now back in that top lane. Sort of feels like home, you know?
I would have to agree. Overall, though, fairly quiet, and we're already starting to see some of the bullying coming out in that mid lane, as we stated before, Pyke being used as a counter to the Syndra. We haven't seen Pyke in I don't know how long. I want to say a couple months at least.
Yeah, I just thought people no longer favored him. He did receive a couple nerfs, I believe, and that sort of pushed him away from viability. But here he is again. I think one of the most frustrating things about Pyke, especially in the mid lane, though, is whatever damage Syndra is going to accrue, a lot of it is going to fall off like water because he does have that regeneration once he gets out of vision.
That is very true. It's one of the innate powers of Pyke. A lot of these self-healing, self-regenning characters in the game. It does mean a lot of these heavy burst mages do not have the ability to outright poke someone out of lane anymore. But he did not run the refillable potions, which we do see some people do. Instead, he did opt for the 3 potions, has already used 1, and the longsword. So gonna be a little bit more gold inefficient, I would say, if he does decide to pick up more potions, if he does decide to do anything of the sort.
Right. Overall, though, I sort of agree with the decision, right? You're trying to dominate the lane as much as possible, and getting 3 potions rather than a refillable will make your first like laning phase, I would say, much stronger.
Yeah. Something to also point out is we actually see that is actually Shaden did not run Conquer. That is actually press the attack. I'm very sorry.
Okay,
So,
wowzers. Really?
Yeah, so junglers, both of the junglers are running Conquer, but it is actually Shaden running the press the attack, so he will have to auto attack 3 times before he can actually do any bonus damage. Meaning he is looking for that hard, I want to say, level 6 Hextech Ultimatum style of damage right there.
Yeah, not necessarily the best choice in my opinion. Like, you could see accruing a good amount of damage there. I would say, though, the Vladimir's pool does sort of get in the way of that press the attack that you want to start racking up. Camille does have an auto attack reset, though, so it might work out for her. I just haven't seen it often.
A good Camille player, but here we go with that
here we
game.
go.
As we said before.
There it is.
Oh,
Nice.
but the beautiful scout of the week actually forces Woe to actually take 3.
Oh,
But Syndra
no.
goes back in, and that means death as she is chugging the potions
Will
as
she
quickly as
live?
possible. But I think the Ignite might get it. No! He survives with just barely any health. Just barely alive. So close there. But that step in was a dangerous one.
Oh, ability power. Playing with fire there and almost going down, but not quite enough. And that does mean that you have the Ignite gone and you have the flash away from the Rek'Sai. So 2 very important cooldowns that Syndra would have been afraid of. Now she sort of doesn't have to worry about it.
Well, the scary thing is Optic Waffle still has his flash available. That's something that you always do want to try and trade. But a lot of good damage coming down from Shaden in that top side. That press the attack is doing work as soon as he gets onto Sicko. Another great stun on that mid lane Optic, taking extremely low.
Yeah,
But-
imagine if ability power was level 6. That might have actually been a kill, but not quite yet.
Yeah. But it's also something to mention, you know, as a jungler or on a team, you always are okay trading a laner's flash for the jungler's flash. And that's exactly what Gang 7 were able to pull off. That's something to think about, you know, no flash. And as we said before, Syndra, very easy to gank. We just saw it. You just walk up, get a quick, or you hope you get a quick knock up to stun, and she's dead. Without that flash, she has to play extremely safe now.
Right. In this case, a good Scour of the Week coming out from ability power did save him for the most part. Ended up walking alive, so that's a win. But yeah, you're completely right. The Rek'Sai did sort of do his job, blew the flash from the Syndra, so it's on the Pyke now, I would say, to see if he can squeeze in a kill.
Yeah. And so far, both everyone has been holding their own. In the top side, we do see a slight CS advantage over Sicko, but it's constantly being even. I think the biggest disparity we have is in that mid lane ability power. As we see with most assassins versus mages, as long as a mage plays safe, you usually accrue a slight lead in that advantage. So, you know, keeping steady there. I think the biggest difference we see in items right now, though, is between the junglers. We see Woe coming out with a completed Hunter's Dirk, I believe, or not Hunter's Dirk. It is the slowing field, and we see another gank on that top side. Good damage going down.
Yeah, just good poke overall, and that is going to keep Vladimir down for the most part. He does have trouble shoving the wave now that Camille has opted for the Tiamat, so she should have priority in lane overall, and you can see that right now. She's rotating.
Yeah, there it is. Trying to get that vision now, make sure they can track Woe, who's actually sitting in that mid lane, really hoping that she can pull off a gank, but nothing's going to happen there. Ability power is running low on mana. And I think that's why he was hanging around, but can't really make anything of it. Actually moved up in the bush. This is the possibility. There it is. The flash goes in from Pyke. That's going to be the death from below. Sorry. And that's an easy 400 gold plus an extra 300 for Woe. 700 total advantage going over to Gang 7.
Yeah, and there you go. Mission accomplished. Mission keep ability power down is a go. Ended up getting that kill onto the Pyke, which is exactly where you want it too. Going to deny a large amount of minions, but still around even. But either way, you're going to feel good if you're Waffles. And now maybe Woe can start looking to other lanes now that he's set up the mid lane.
Yeah, that's huge. And the roaming potential now, as we said it before, ability power, this is the weak point of most mages. So not only does he have to play extremely safe, now he has to always be, he can't follow, right? A lot of laners will always say, hey, go follow your lane opponent to the other lanes, you know? As a Syndra, you can't do that anymore because you're terrified of the double up of the Pyke and the Rek'Sai.
Yeah, you don't want to be walking through brushes in the river, find a Pyke, and then say, oh, you know what? He's not rotating anymore. He's just killing me. So it's cool, guys. Yeah,
It's feel bad.
Definitely. It's going to take some finesse to get around this mid game now, and you really got to watch out for the snowball now from the Pyke.
And we're excited to see what he can do. Optic Waffles already showing that he knows exactly what to do. Looks like an early dragon take for the air dragon here. So trying to get that 3% extra move speed. I believe that is tripled outside of combat, so very strong there, and get the dragons rolling.
Yeah, and no Rift Herald up to respond to, so just a free Cloud Drake on that one. And we still have Vayne very close in CS to the Kai'Sa, so not much lost at all.
Yep. Pretty quiet all around. And so we are going to see if that can, they can make it work. But that is going to be an Ocean Dragon next. So going to be pretty nice, especially if 16-bit esports are the ones able to pick it up. That helps extend the laning phase that much more, especially for Kai'Yusuf and Catwife in that bottom lane. Soraka definitely benefits from having an Ocean Drake constantly giving her extra mana and health.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, we've seen Warmog Soraka, so I think she's gonna appreciate that Ocean Drake if they can manage to pick it up. That is 5 minutes in the future, so we'll see if they decide to fight for it. Rift Herald now up, and we do see some good control coming back out from 16-bit, and this is exactly what you want to see. They're already peeking their heads into this topside river, trying to gain control, and they seem to have a good grasp of the fundamentals so far. Alistair walking up a little bit, and we do see Woe taking a trip to the bot lane. Pyke as well rotating, so this might be a tell for a dive.
Yeah, and you can actually see ability power rotating as well. Where this could be a tower dive as Hidden Rob actually jumps in, but the condemn is enough. That's going to be the silence, but the Killer Instinct has gone all the way in. Double flashes out from everyone, and a good gank aversion from 16-bit esports. Even though they lose a couple tower plates, they deny the chance for 2 kills. Very good job on their part, even though they have to watch their bot lane tower go down.
Yeah, we'll see. Okay, so it's going to be Rift Herald as a response, and that's going to be picked up by Ellen. And it might just be another dive.
Again, this could be so damaging as the flashes come out. Catwife getting dived under tower. That's going to be the first kill as Woe picks up the second on the backside. That's a 2 easy kills and a first tower going down as well, I believe. I'm not sure Catwife and Kai'Yusuf want to stick around for that.
That is so frustrating, and that's just one of the perks about having an Alistair. He's so durable. Still had the ultimate up after the first dive, so they do an easy second dive, and it's got to feel bad if you are Catwife and Kai'Yusuf.
We actually see a response with an immediate Rift Herald usage, so trading back the tower and plates. They won't get the first blood tower, but they'll at least pick up 5 plates for themselves. That's gonna feel pretty good for them.
Right. Yeah.
easy evening up of the gold there. Make sure the gold stays within 2k of each other.
Yeah, and unfortunately, they did pick up the Rift Herald, but do not get the first tower. And I sort of feel like the Rift Herald activation was forced out of 16-bit because they didn't want to be behind in gold.
They want to make sure that Catwife is able to keep up in the steady momentum, although he is behind. He is slightly keeping up in gold, wants to get to his 2-item power spec as quickly as possible, still waiting to finish up the board compared to the completed Infinity Edge coming out of Whirlwind.
Right, it was Kaisa that was able to pick up a kill. So Infinity Edge, it's a great item now. Gives you a lot of AD, 80, I believe, 80 AD. So going to feel very good, not a tongue twister.
Yeah, we already have the lane rotation as well. Whirlwind and Rob rotating outside, but that does mean Catwife and Kayusuf are going to shred this tower. So this is exactly what they want to do. They're trying to get the last few plates off of this. I believe they can get 2 more. And then next minute, if no one comes to hold it off, they are going to back. But that means on the flip side, more tower plates are going down.
And I think the key part of this is 16-bit did not rotate their bot lane top because Dragon was, I would say, 2 minutes away at that time, but they're not able to react to this top push, and they lose already 3 plates, I believe. And it's only 30 seconds left, so I don't think they're going to get too much in return.
Yeah, comparatively, that's not bad, though, considering the amount of plates that have been taken overall. I believe that would 8 plates or possibly 9 to 7.
Oh,
now the Blade of the Rune King or the Cutlass has been popped, but they all end up out for a hit of Rock. But Zorak is there with the wish as well as the heal. And that's gonna be enough. Here comes the Void Rush on that top side. We are looking at everything. The tower dive is too deep, and there it is. 16-bit Esports are able to close it out with a beautiful counter engage. Kayusuf is gonna go golden as the Hemoplague does pop. That means no kills going over. That is a clean 3-0 from 16-bit Esports off of a heavy engage from Gang 7.
Wow, like you said, clean 3-0, and it just felt like Gang 7, they weren't quite sure what they were doing. Some people wanted to do a quick dive, other people said, actually, no, that's not a very good idea. We might see Alistar as well go down. Yes, it is.
Oh, there it is.
Ellen that picks up the kill at tower as well. Dragon on the table, you can do a quick reset and hopefully hit that at the same time as Gang 7, but overall, some really sloppy play coming out from Gang 7, and they pay for it.
I feel it was more not exactly sloppy. It was them jumping in and then realizing, oh crap, the rest of the team is there. This might be an issue.
See, I would agree with you, but I would say even if it was like super decisive, we still saw, I think it would have gone better. I just think that we saw a little bit of hesitation once they did get spooked by the fact that there were more members than usual. Okay, Ocean Drake will at least go over to Gang 7, and that does feel nice. Like, you could see the Kaisa play. Like, she was sort of backing away from the tower. Then she just Killer Instinct in, and that was awkward.
Yeah, she had to burn all of her summoners as well. I believe actually almost every single summoner was used in that fight except for Rob's Flash and Ignite, as those were both down. But overall, just that gave 16-bit Esports so much time, so much access to getting back into this game, I feel.
Right, and that benefit or that advantage that you got from taking the bot tower early as Gang 7, it's almost completely gone. Gold is 1k off of even.
Yeah, that's pretty big there. And I mean, if that, I feel Gang 7 are trying to push the issue a little bit too quickly. They don't want to let Catwife get big on this Vayne, but they're overextending and they're overreaching for it.
Yeah,
by quite a lot.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that Vayne was participating in that top turnaround, so he ended up picking up a kill and an assist there.
Yeah, and I am not sure of the gold differentials. If we could bring that up on the screen here for a little bit, just to take a look.
Oh,
but
no,
not in time because a big fight is coming out. The fight actually gets pulled, but actually flashes out from the depth from below. That's going to be a beautiful play behind the tower as flashes go out. Kayusuf is running for his life as well as trying to take down ability power. On the flip side, we do see Rob getting chunked out even through the Unbreakable Will, but this is a big tower dive going in favor of Gang 7 this time. They dove too far, and just like a mirrored attraction, this time it's 16-bit Esports that go too far.
Yeah, it is. They were between 2 towers in the end, and there goes Soraka down, and another kill for the Rek'Sai, now 3-1-4. But we saw some really weird play coming out from 16-bit, and I think they just lacked a bit of target priority there. We saw the Vayne a lot of that fight just whacking away at an Alistar with that ultimate up. So a lot of dead time there. On the other hand, though, Rek'Sai was completely on top of ability power on the Syndra, knocked him out instantly, and was able to take away the rest of the fight.
And you saw how quickly that fight devolved into 16-bit esports saying, we got the kill to, oh crap, we have to run. The quick flash out of Kai Yusuf, the staying ability of ability power, he just stood there. He was like, I can take this. Wait, where's Soraka? And then just everyone else got dogpiled on, and both of these teams are fully trying to jockey for position. In a game where I feel they can definitely try and slow down the pace, they don't have to force the issue as much. So with how aggressive both these teams are, I'm excited to see what comes in the mid to late game.
Right, and I completely agree. I think these teams need to start taking a bit more reserved plays. They are playing with some missing information, it seems like, from both sides. We've seen this game flip around like 3 times already. So just a bit of cleanup would actually make this a lot better. Like, you could see that fight in the bottom lane. It didn't get anything for 16-bit. They did not even get much of any damage down onto the bot lane tower, and we're back to the neutral game with an advantage for Gang 7.
Yeah, and if we look at the gold differences here in that mid lane, we only have a 500 gold difference in that top side. We have close to a 1k lead for the Vladimir. In that jungle role, we also see a disparity there, but you know, overall, everything does look in favor of Gang 7 so far. They're definitely holding their own with a 2.8k lead. So definitely have to feel good there. We are starting to see some of the, I want to say, neutered bounties coming out. 200 gold bounty on top of Sicko. We have 150 gold bounty on Woe, and we also have a 300 on Wilwyn. So, you know, not as much gold as we're used to seeing from stuff like this, but still, that is a total, I believe, of about 550 gold that you can pick up if you get a couple kills.
Right, and it keeps swapping up, and that's actually one of the key changes of the bounties here. As I say that, though, ability power, he's gonna go down.
Oh, the death from below just feels bad. And as we were saying, this is a scary part for a Syndra, for anyone. Ability power has to be scared now. He always has to be worried wherever he's going of Optic Waffles. Waffles just sitting there going, yeah, I can kill you pretty easily. He already has, I believe that is a Ghost Blade plus Tiamat. That's all he needs to shut ability power down.
Yeah, 100%. You could see a quick, easy combo, and that's all of ability power's HP. No need for some extended trading or anything like that. So a very uphill battle. If you are ability power, you have to watch where you're going. And I think this comes in part due to the team. You have to secure vision if you're sending your Syndra to side lanes now, or if you're sending either of your carries to the side lane, because this Pyke is on the loose. And you could see Olaf was sent to pick up some waves in the top lane, and this just gives free reign for Gang 7 to control this bot side. They get a Cloud Drake, so it's 1 apiece.
Yes, it is. So we get to see what they can pull off now. Now that both teams have that speed boost, that doesn't mean the fights are going to come in thick and heavy, which will be fun to see. Again, we have seen both teams not be scared to make aggressive moves, though, and I think that's something really does have to be pointed out, right? Even though the moves didn't work so far, it does show that they're willing to take that risk. They're willing to say, all right, we're not sure if it's going to work. This is week 2. Let's give it a shot.
100%, yeah, and I think that's what makes it so scary to play against either of these teams. Like, I don't think sneaking a Baron is the play here, because I think if either team sniffs it out, they're just gonna go for it. They're gonna go for the 5v5.
Yeah, they are. You see Rob just sitting there. He wants it so bad, but can't find anyone. And I do want to talk about the vision as well. We're starting to see some vision sections coming out. We see on the blue side, we did see Optic Waffles just take that top side tower, as bot lane is going to go down in favor of Shaden. But you see massive amounts of pink wards clearing out the entirety of the top side for Gang 7. Now on that bottom side, Shaden is taking a little bit of damage, but he is going to try and retaliate. Actually, he's going to run away. Doesn't want to deal with Sicko right now.
Yeah, so 100% gonna agree with you. Some great vision control out from Gang 7, and that's exactly where you want it. Once the dragon is down, all you have to worry about is that Baron buff. So they're going to control the top and the mid with their stronger 4. They're going to get a lot of pink wards down in enemy vision and hopefully suffocate out 16-bit.
Yeah, that is the hope there. Yeah, but again, where do the teams go from here? We're starting to see the item power spikes come out. We see Wilwin with the Infinity Edge plus Guinsoo's on the flip side. Catwife only with the Bork. It looks like he's also going for that Guinsoo's as well. Ability power is behind quite a bit. Only has the Luden's Echo. Did pick up that Dark Seal, trying to boost the healing power coming out of the refillables, but definitely far behind of Optic Waffles.
Right. So I think the easiest way to break this sort of strangle that Gang 7 are accruing would be to go for some picks, to go for some heavy engages. The only problem is I don't see a lot of hard engage coming out for the lineup of 16-bit. They have an Olaf that's going to run you down. Maybe you can look for a pick off of a Syndra Scatter the Weak, but I don't see much else working for you. If anything, the Camille is a pick that could really isolate a target and get an advantage off of that, but she's off in the side lane over there. And you can see still more control coming out for Gang 7. I would say in 5 minutes, I would like to see some proactive play coming out from the side of 16-bit. I say 5 minutes, or actually now is okay, because Vayne just completed her Ginsu's Rageblade, and you did not want to have that disparity of Rageblade versus not Rageblade. And Baron already being poked out a bit. It was down to 2/3, but they are going to pull off of it at the moment. You can see 16-bit still fighting for control.
Yeah, and that's and who does the stalemate kind of benefit right now? Because both teams, like I said, are jockeying position. But do you think this is fully benefiting someone? Is this going to benefit, 16-bit or Gang 7 more?
Right, and that's a super interesting topic. Like I could make an argument and say, hey, Gang 7 should pull something off here, right? They should do something here because right now they have the advantage. And I don't know if you want to go against late game Syndra, late game Vayne, when you compare yourself to having like a Pyke mid, right? That's not a late game carry, and you really want to take advantage of that disparity right now. And on the other hand, I could make the same argument that, well, Vayne is scaling, Syndra is scaling, so 16-bit don't need...
Yeah, 16-bit don't need to fully commit to anything just yet. They are farming up well, and they will make it happen. The big scary point comes into the fact that, yes, no matter what, Optic Waffles is always going to be a massive sprinting point for this team. He's always going to be able to assassinate someone, I feel, up till that 40-minute mark when, the GA start coming out or the Zhonya's start coming out.
Yeah, and I think we might see Banshee's Veil as a decent pickup. I mean, a lot of Pyke's damage, as we see right here. It is linked to his abilities, so if you have maybe a Banshee's Veil, it could negate one of those abilities, and that could be like a third of the damage gone from Pyke.
Yeah, and that's the scary part. I do want to give ability power smart reactive play, though. As soon as he sees Optic Waffles on the map or sees that sign of, hey, Pyke's invisible, immediate flash. No chance. Don't want to die.
And the Baron already started up. Can't see the HP right now, but I can imagine it's getting pretty low.
Yeah, it's only about half as they do peel off once again. And this is a dance that I don't want to say inexperienced teams play, but dancing the Baron like this without getting anything in return definitely shows that they are hesitating in certain aspects of the game that might make it hard to traverse over better teams.
100%. And you can see down here in this bot lane, it is the 1v1 split push, but I don't really think Vlad's going to gain much of it. If anything, I would love to see them 5-man sort of force out a TP from the Camille, because look at how much time you can give the Camille to split push. Like, you're worried about your bot tier 2 all the way down there. That's like at least a minute you can give the Camille to be in the bot lane alone before she ever starts knocking onto a tower, right? So I would say, hey, Vladimir, go group towards the Baron, force out a TP. Once that TP's down, do the same thing, except now Camille doesn't have a TP open. So maybe you can get a favorable 5v4. Maybe you can just get the Baron in general.
Yeah, they did pick up that bottom tier 2, as you stated, and they also got the Dragon, so they did get something out of the Baron dance. Not as much as they were hoping, because that took about 5 minutes. And that is a long time.
I actually don't understand why the Camille had to back there. Just wanted to buy, I guess, but ended up giving the tower. I can't really wrap my head around it right now, but like you said.
So Shaden was about, I want to say 3/4 health to 2/3 health. And but this is big right now. Ragnarok
Okay,
has
Ragnarok,
a
yeah.
great scout of the week, stopping the initial charge. That's going to signal the end of that engage. A beautiful play coming out of Ability Power to save his jungler. I have to give him props for that. But now onto Waffles is going in the flash and the stun and the death from below. But that is quickly returned as Pyke goes down to Vayne. That's going to be a jump in. Whoa, flashes on top of the Ability Power. Jumps all the way in. The Void Rush is there. Dies under the tower, but that's a little bit too far. Unleashed Power gets a kill. Now Hit 'em Up Rob is going to be soaked up and possibly run down as Ola picks up that one. Meanwhile, Sicko is in the back line, does pick up one on the Vayne, but that's going to be the return kill. No, Kai'Sa picks up the Camille, so Shaden goes down now. Will win on the run. 4 for 3 so far. Gonna be a 5 for 3 as they both try and dive around. No killer instinct, no shield. That is going to be the ace coming out for 16-bit esports off of a somewhat forced engage.
Yeah, it was. And it was exactly the play that I thought Gang 7 should have taken. They start to rotate their Vladimir first. So you force out the teleport, as you can see from the Camille. So TP advantage for your 1v1 split push. On the other hand, though, they lost the fight in the end, even though they had that priority of having 5 members first. And I think a lot of that is due to giving Cat Wife the time to find these 1v1s or find these 1v2s, which Vayne can happily play out.
Yeah, picking up quite a few kills there, and surprisingly enough, Catwife actually decided to go with the Spirit Visage as well. So that's going to not only cut out Sicko's damage, it's also going to boost his healing ability. He's going to survive in these fights for so long with little to no effort, I feel.
Yeah, 100%. And we'll have to see where the teams go from here. I would like to see the Vladimir to shove out, rotate back to the Baron, and this is a problem they have to deal with, right? The Camille actually opting to swap to the top side. And that's an interesting change. That might be because Dragon, you can assume, is maybe 2 minutes away now. So maybe they want to get their stronger 4 onto the bot side of the map, but that does leave your Baron open a little bit. And it is getting later in the game. Like, Kai'Sa does rip through Barons.
Yeah, Kai'Sa already picked up the Phantom Dancer as well, so Will win. Feeling pretty happy about that. He also was able to pick up the Executioner's Calling, so that's going to cut down a lot on Kai Yusuf's healing ability. That's going to reduce a big chunk of that until Kai Yusuf can try and battle that with, I believe it is the Ardent Sensor, which kind of offset or balances it back out, right?
Right.
That's still pretty damaging. Ellen taking a blade to the face and gets dragged in. Now they actually want to go in as in goes Shaden and tries to get the Hextech Ultimatum down, but that's 2 in the back line. They get him. They get down. Will win, but that is a trade back. But Vayne just shooting away Catwoman and the shutdown from Ability Power. Ability Power just dropping the health bars, and that's going to be a double kill for him. Actually, not dropping the health bars as quickly as I meant burst, because that is insane damage coming out. Has the needlessly large rod as well as a Morellonomicon. He is on fire along with Cat White. Both of the carries outputting so much damage right there. And once again, a beautiful fight and re-engage coming out from 16-bit esports.
Yeah, and you could see in the early part of the fight, you traded the Olaf for the Kai'Sa from the side of Gang 7, and that's exactly what you want, right? Because you give Vayne a lot more free time. You force Gang 7 to try and peel for the Kai'Sa. Kai'Sa dies anyway, and you still have Vayne free hitting whatever frontliner was in front of her at that time. So you're picking up the Alistar and the Vladimir off the end of that fight.
Yeah, I really have to point out Cat Wife's positioning as well as the stuns coming out of Ability Power. Both of these carry players have been so integral to making sure 16-bit esports are able to follow up, right? Cat Wife dodging out multiple skill shots, making sure that he is never in a position where this is going to be a very big problem. You know, he has been able to dodge a lot of the stuns, the headbutt pulverizes. Not only that, he's made sure that the stuns, he can follow up on the stuns from Ability Power. Ability Power has had a lot of trouble coming out from Waffles. Waffles has always had his number, it feels. This time around, always making sure that he is there to follow up. Scout of the Week stops the engage once again from Woe.
Yeah, and Ability Power is doing a great job of snuffing out these engages coming out from the side of Gang 7. Like, that is one of Gang 7's only win conditions. It's pulling off an engage on their terms, and it's hopefully diving 16-bit's backline before Gang 7's backline gets dove.
Yeah, it's not even that. It's Waffles has to find a certain pick. He has to find one of the 3 primary targets. He has to find Kai Yusuf, or he has to find Catwife, I think. Between those two, because I think ability power at this point is always on point with the Scout of the Week. So it's going to be a little bit difficult. And with the flash up, you can never just be like, all right, let's go for it. Instead, go for the
Baron started
Baron,
here.
Yeah, Baron is being started up. We see Shaden moving in from the backside.
looks
So
bad,
this is going to be
actually.
a pincer. They do have to back away. Void, Praise Seeker, sorry. The blades do go out, but Shaden is getting jumped on. The headbutt does make it.
Nice.
And the pulverizes. Hextech Ultimatum blocks a lot of damage, but that still means that he's locked in there. In goes everyone else as 16-bit esports are running down the members of Gang 7, but a lot of damage being returned. Kayusuf is still alive. No, the Void Rush picks it up, and actually Gang 7 are winning this fight. They get the extra kills. That is going to be the death from below. They get 4 for 1 in favor of Gang 7, and they go straight to the Baron.
And I thought that advantage was actually for Gang 7. You're right, they got to pick off the Camille super early, but a great scatter of the week. Oh, ability power. Okay, he might just start here. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, listen, he still played the rest of that fantastically. Great scatter of the week, and you got to isolate the Kai'Sa and the Soraka there. So, going to be the Baron picked up here.
Yeah, it's crazy the amount of damage that we're starting to see from the team. And the flank idea was good from Shaden, but it was the rest of 16-bit esports that said we're actually going to fall back. That created a window of opportunity for Gang 7 to just hard collapse on Shaden. Shaden not having the flash, only having the repel to try and get away. Headbutt Pulverize was on point from Rob, able to solo him out before the disruption could be used to 16-bit esports advantage. And Catwife immediately soloed out, I feel, by Sicko and Rob. Immediate response, no hesitation.
Yeah, and I'm so concerned for the backlines here. This game, they're both just getting absolutely demolished. I think that's what it comes down to, which backline can really survive these fights, and it all comes down to team positioning as a whole.
Yeah, it really does. We have almost a kill a minute. I believe this is 30, I want to say 33 kills in 34 minutes. That is
Rob.
hard. Oh my gosh, Rob. Even Unbreakable Will is not going to be enough as Vayne gets the final proc on the Silver Bolt.
Jesus. What a
Pierce is the
champion.
Pierce is the beat. That is how you put it. But that's going to be a singular kill, and he loses the ultimate as well. So that's going to be a 5-on-4 for a little bit.
Oh, Camille.
Repel goes all the way in. They go all the way forward. They're going to keep going as Ragnarok has been put. Human Plague is down, but Sicko is taken extremely low. Has to flash away. Human Plague does not catch anyone. Catwife still on the chase. Wants to get it as the final hour is going to time out. Great pull in, taken extremely low. Will win. Trying to get a few procs of the missiles in. Not going to be able to collect on any of those, and only one kill so far.
Yeah, just gonna play this slowly, and I think they learned throughout the game that playing slowly is much better than trying to go for the end here. They are going to pick up this nice top tower, and it might just go without a hitch. We do see a Pyke flank at the moment, and Kayusuf is actually...
He does get it, the one shot onto the wishing Kayusuf. That's going to signal an immediate retreat coming out. Killer Instinct and the Void Rush picks off another. This is Gang 7's fight to win as they collect one more head, and they go with one more pull as Shaden goes down as well. Catwife having to run away on his own, and Waffles, the singular hero of Gang 7, finding that optimal pick. And there they go, chasing once again. Catwife saying, this could be dangerous, so I'm going to go for a good condemn against the wall. But that's going to be a flash forward and the immediate shutdown as Wilwin is going to pick that one up. And meanwhile, on the bottom side, Sicko helping to push down that bottom lane. This could be the end if they so try. Death timers are a little bit long. Kayusuf is the only one up right now.
They still have Baron too, yeah. It looks like Soraka's up right now.
Yeah, that's it. That's going to be the win for Gang 7. And a back and forth game number 1. They take down 16-bit esports and say, we're ready for the next game.
What a game, just like that. In a matter of seconds, it's just over. And it was off of a capitalization of maybe an overcall coming out from 16-bit. They just want to take that top tower, but the Pyke, man, Waffles is making a great argument for, hey, maybe Pyke mid is back because he did so much work that game.
I think it was a beautiful counter pick as well. You can't disrespect the fact that he knew that he could play the champion very well. It was a smart pickup to say, okay, we understand that you're going to try this. I'm going to take this champion that has historically been able to counter that mage in the mid lane and just finding those picks. I feel like the whole thing, like we stated, it did land on Waffle's shoulder. Is he able to find that crucial pick? Is he able to get that solo kill onto one of the squishy targets? If he does, that signals Gang 7's initial fight into that entire, into a team fight, into just winning the game outright.
Yeah, totally. And we see Syndra now, and she's going to start cropping up more because a lot of the mid lane meta has been shaken up a little bit. Saw nerfs to LeBlanc in 9.6. We saw nerfs to Jace as well as Zoe. And Syndra's just about ready to take the next spot in terms of filling out what are the new blind picks that you can run mid, and putting this Pyke on the table in game 1 of a best of 3 series already and saying, nah, you can't blind pick Syndra. Like, that's really great to have already.
Yeah, and that's going to be it as Gang 7 go 1-0 in the matchup. They're looking to bring themselves to a 1-1 situation after week 2. We'll have to see if 16-bit esports can pull back in game number 2 and be able to take this best of 3 series into a game number 3. We'll be right back, so don't go anywhere. See the thrilling conclusion, possibly, of the series. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for a game 2. This series has already been on fire from minute 1, I swear.
Yeah, that last game was a seesaw if I've ever seen one. Just flipping back and forth all over the place. Did land in the side of Gang 7 in the end, so they do pick up a nice win. Hopefully going to carry this momentum into the next game and end it 2-0.
Yeah, and I mean, it's going to be difficult, mostly due to the fact that, honestly, it could have gone either way. It was never really just the pure team compositions or either side playing. It was both sides finding little things to abuse, I feel, throughout the
100%.
entire set.
Yeah, 100%. And it was the proactivity coming out from Gang 7 that I feel like won them the game. They had the composition to capitalize on it as well. You could see the Kai'Sa getting a crucial kill as well as Waffles just putting on one hell of a performance. And I'd love to see if there's going to be a reaction in the pick and ban to the Pyke, or what the mid laners will pick in general, because that is what sort of swung the game greatly.
Yeah, and so as you can see, the picks and bans are going quickly, and that is because the pro draft was done before. Unfortunately, we did not get to the pro draft this time around, so we will just have to settle for whatever comes up on the board.
Mm-hmm. So we're just gonna be like looking at compositions essentially, and that should be
pretty much. And the Silas once again banned away. I think that's pretty much the same bans though coming out from Gang 7. Really don't want to deal with any of those 3 champions.
Right, yeah, and on the other side as well, 16-bit, they don't want to deal with the champions that they banned either. So unfortunately, Silas again chained when he was supposed to be unchained, but all right, sure.
Well, this time it's not because of outside influences, because the teams say we just don't want you.
Right. So they put the little handcuffs that they bought at the dollar store on them.
Sounds about right. We do see a Vladimir and Kale. So Kale, we finally get to see it, as well as Riven being picked up. So going up against that Poppy, pretty solid pick there.
Yeah, that Kale is poggers, I gotta say. She did see a nerf, but you look at her win rate and she is decimating at least solo queue. There have been some questions on whether competitively she can be viable. She can be heavily exposed in the laning phase, and she really does nothing for you, right? You put her in the top lane, and if she has a bad matchup, you might just have to send your jungler there just to make sure she lives and she's able to at least get some amount of gold. Obviously, she's not going to see us very well at all. And once you have to dedicate your jungler to one side, you lack a lot of flexibility in how you want to play your games out.
That is very, very true. We'll have to see if that happens again. But we see very different lineups than we did before. We see very heavy team fight compositions. Before, we saw the pick style composition. This time around is very much, we're all in your face.
Totally, and seeing a lot of AD come out for the side of Gang 7 here. Waffles on that Kale is hopefully going to be able to pop off. I haven't seen Kale really run in the mid lane as much as I've seen her run in the top lane, just trying to survive in that long lane, trying to see us from afar. But mid lane now, and in game 1 we did see Waffles on a very dominant Pyke. Now he's on the complete opposite. You can expect him to somewhat of bend over in this lane and say, no, please, sir, after you have this lane, against the Vladimir as well, going to put down a decent amount of harass. We'll have to see if the junglers decide to put up a lot of attention towards the mid lane. And you also have some power if you go to the top lane. Like if Poppy could get ahead against Riven, I could see her shutting her out for a good amount of time. And if you get the Lucian ahead with the Thresh, that's also suffocating.
That would have to be true. So looking at the lanes one more time, before we did see Optic Waffles take off in that mid lane, and this time he has a massive scaler to work with. Although yes, there were some changes, that doesn't negate the fact that Kale is an absolute beast in the late game, right?
Yeah.
And so the question is what's this going to change? Do you still think Optic Waffles is going to take off? Or what do you think some of the changes are going to be?
If we see Waffles get through laning phase roughly even, I could see this being a great game for Gang 7. I mean, you look at the rest of your composition, it has a lot of synergy to it. Sivers on the hunt is going to help Rek'Sai and Riven engage. You have the follow-up engage from Braum. That should set you up enough time for Sivir and Kayle to deal a massive amount of AoE. So that will be a devastating team fight if they get ahead or even.
That'll be awesome to see. And, you know, I'm excited because we get to see the Sivir Braum versus the Lucian. So wife stealer lane versus the annoying blocking lane. I feel that's the best way to put it, right?
Yeah.
So in that bottom side, we have seen Lucian take off in some situations. We've also seen Sivir, you know, really have that win condition of, again, scale up, be a good team fighter, and the crits later on in the game are just massive, right? So do you think these are going to come into influence in how these teams play, or do you feel like you said, they're still going to go to the top side for Gang 7, or they're still going to play around the mid? You know, what do you think?
Right. In terms of Gang 7, obviously they're going to want to be holding that mid, but I would probably say pay attention to your bot side, because the Riven versus Poppy, there's not really too much that you can look for. Both Rek'Sai and Riven can get snuffed out by that Poppy W. So I think you would have trouble ganking that lane in general. I would say just let the Riven farm up. You have great late game insurance anyway. One thing we didn't mention, but is a big elephant in the room, is even if Gang 7 get behind, Kayle Sivir is a wet dream for wave clear. Like, I don't care how many super minion are in your base. Kayle post level 16 and Sivir any amount of time late game, they're gonna have no problem farming up those waves very well.
All right, and last but not least, because of the last game that we saw, even though it was a seesaw, I have to get your opinion. Which team do you think is going to come out on top due to these compositions? Is it going to be Gang 7 or is it going to be 16-bit esports?
I personally think it might just be Gang 7 again. I mean, you look at their composition, I think if they get ahead, they can win. If they get behind, they still have a good win condition with the two ranged carries to work with. You have Riven, who can pop off and get rid of, seemingly, I would say, towards the late game, you only have a one threat comp coming out from the side of 16-bit, and it's a Lucian at that, not one of the best late game carries. So if we don't see a stomp by 16-bit, I think it could definitely go in the way of Gang 7 here.
All right, well, we'll have to see if your prediction is correct. Let us know in the chat if you want to or anything, but that is our prediction. So we will be going to a short break. We're going to make sure everything's set for game number 2. So if there are some interruptions in the stream, we are very sorry, but we are making sure that it is perfect for you in game number 2. So don't go anywhere. We will have 16-bit esports and Game 7, game number 2, coming up shortly. All right, and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to game number 2 between these two teams. We already saw a bloody game number 1 that saw, I believe, close to a kill a minute total. So we'll have to see if this game is just as bloody as the last one. We do have 16-bit esports on the blue side this time and Gang 7 on the red side. So looking down at all, like you said Gang 7 was predicted to win.
That's right. I did, and you can crucify me if they don't. And a little invade coming out from 16-bit. They might just find Sicko.
Oh, this is so cheeky. Riven has to pop that Q early and the flash as well. So a well-deserved early invade, and now it looks like they're gonna try and keep going. This is what you do when you have won that early invade, right? You start getting little advantages like, hey, where's the enemy jungler?
Yeah, definitely. And a good reaction from the other side, Gang 7 saying, well, we saw the 5-man, so this bot side should be very, very easy to ward. Put down a nice ward by the Raptors and an exchange of visions, but definitely a flash blown for the top lane. Sicko might have to look out for a gank from the Sejuani.
We'll have to see if that plays out like you said. Super interested to see if it can work, but as you can see, Ellen is moving down towards on that Sejuani, moving down that red buff to help get the extra leash, which almost all Sejuanis do need.
Yeah, but overall, Ellen's early game should be pretty good. Sejuani has a surprisingly solid early game. She has nice clears. She can duel 1v1 as long as it's not an insane jungler like a Lee Sin early game. So we might see a decent amount of play. And she's starting red side, so you can assume after getting her second buff, she might pay a visit to Sicko on the Riven in the top lane.
Yeah, I mean, and again, these somewhat mirrored matchups always lend itself to kind of crazy antics, right? It depends on what the jungler decides to do, if they're deciding for a full clear, or if they're deciding more just for a solid, hey, let's get level 3 and start ganking, and whatever they want to do. Rek'Sai, as you can see, didn't even go for blue, instead clearing out their entire top side of the jungle, and we see a slight little, no, actually, Ellen is going for that Rift Scuttle.
Yep, just going to secure that topside river and
Oh,
Rek'Sai.
oh, that's big though. I don't know if you just saw that in the bottom lane, but Sivir is being forced to rotate all the way around. Willwin at
yeah.
level 1 is being circumvented right now, loses out, won't hit level 2. So Catwife and Kai Yusuf, beautiful use of aggressive
It's a
play.
gang.
Yeah, great gank in the top side, but that doesn't matter as well. It's could be a good fight. The shield is enough though. So Shaden staying alive from that gank, didn't even have to burn the flash or teleport just yet. And Woe was taken out of the fight, got so much aggressive damage down, but took a lot of return.
Yeah, you're completely right. Took a lot of damage, especially early on in return. That Rek'Sai gank is usually so devastating against normal top players. Poppy, on the other hand, it's like you lined up for her stun if you take that route. So took a lot of damage, the Rek'Sai did, and they were not able to pick up the kill, not even able to blow the flash from Shaden on the Poppy.
And there we go again. Little bit of extra fighting. Shaden is running that corrupting potion, so definitely gonna hold steady on that top side. Is up in CS even, so Gang 7 already a little bit on the back foot in almost all the lanes, which can be pretty dangerous.
Right, we'll see if with this big wave for Sicko in the top lane, he might catch back up on CS, but this bot lane being pressured a lot.
Yeah, and that's something that a lot of people don't usually look at, but having the ability to force out an enemy laner is huge. Getting that early push out, getting the early level 2 has definitely expanded Catwife's and Kayusiv's ability to pressure the lane, right? They will always have a small level advantage now. A great shield though, stopping that hook, and I mean that's a spell shield Sivir for you, and it's always gonna happen, I feel.
Yeah, the risky part about throwing out hooks, if you are the Thresh in this 2v2, is you sort of give Sivir a mana potion whenever she's able to spell shield. And the problem with that is, like you can see on the screen right now, she's able to shove it out and get control of the lane again.
Yeah, the bouncing blades are always an annoyance. That's what I usually call it. But
Completely, yeah.
yeah, never really want to deal with it. But again, this goes back to, are you gonna play passive or are you gonna play aggressive, right? Catwife trying to get some damage down, but Willwin just saying, okay, perfect, let me just push out the lane. You don't get a say in what we do. We're gonna hard push and never worry about you.
Yeah, definitely. And if you are up in minions, that just makes it harder for Catwife and Kayusif to engage, right? Because you have to calculate, okay, we're going to be taking more damage than the enemy bot laner will from minion. This case, it's still relatively passive for the most part. You can see Kayusif just trying to zone out here, but if he decides to go for a hook, could just be another mana potion.
Yep, and it's fairly quiet right now. So both teams deciding, hey, it's not probably worth it to be as aggressive as we were last time. Both junglers are trying to farm up pretty well, and this actually bodes well for Ellen. On this Sejuani, I feel a lot of Sejuanis, they want to just power farm until they can hit level 6. Make sure they have that Glacial Prison available, and really hard pressure that. Oh, good damage coming down once again.
Yeah.
Huge chunk going on to Willwin.
Yeah, I think the real problem we're seeing here is Willwin has to extend to get those back caster minions, and because of that, you leave yourself in range to free harass from the Lucian, possibly a quick flay coming out from the Thresh, and that's not something that you can spell shield on reaction.
For sure, and that's how you mess with the Sivir, right? You mess with their ability to decide which ability do they really want to block. And to reiterate, it doesn't block all CC abilities within that, or all ability damage and CC in that half second. I want to say it only blocks one. But technically, you can pop it with a quickly layered attack.
Right, and you could even like pop it with the flay, and that's fine because now you have a hook, and Sivir has no spell shield, so you can take that gamble, try and land the hook, and if it lands, that's great, and if it doesn't, it's all right.
Yeah, we actually see a pretty large deficit in that bottom lane for Will Win. We see a 7 CS lead for Catwife right now, and in that mid lane, we see a 20 CS lead for ability power, definitely hampering Waffle's ability to scale up so far.
Right, the Kayle deficit definitely expected. Just does not have the same shoving power as Vladimir, does not have the same 1v1 power as Vladimir, so you can expect going to be a bit more passive in that lane. And Catwife here controlling the lane very well. It looks like he might be wanting a freeze or to stop a recall here. Kayusuf gonna walk forward. Yes, that's a hook landing.
Good hook. Actually, Will Win actually went back, which means Rob is all on his own. This is a big problem right there. He is probably going to go down. One more auto attack is going to do it. Catwife with that flash gets the kill. Such an unfortunate series of events right there. Will Win completing the recall, but Rob unable to, as the hook had landed, and the death sentence aptly named, catching a first blood.
That is a bizarre first blood that, in my opinion, should not happen. Once you see the ward come down from Kayusuf, actually a gank.
Yeah, and they're super low. Woe is trying to get this. The heal is actually out, though, and in comes the ult from Ellen, but it is short change as the death sentence is there as well. Void Rush is going to go out, but they might get the kill. He gets it! Catwife barely survives. Shaden as well teleporting in, making sure that they're going to survive, and the Infernal Dragon is going to be taken as well. Solid play all around from 16-Bit Esports to take the first initiative this time.
Yeah, great positioning from Ellen. He was at the right place at the right time. You saw the TP come down, and although Shaden didn't actually do anything, this is going to secure the Infernal. Rob just being a little peeper.
Yeah, being a little bit annoying. Ability power is going to get jumped on. The Frostbite procs, or the concussive blows, are not going to land. The Hemoplague was laid as well. Ability power is just going to walk away, feel pretty good about that, and heal up just enough. He is starting to build, I believe that is a Proto Belt for himself. So going with a little bit more just heavy burst, I feel, but still a good take in that bottom lane to get the Infernal for themselves. That is a 7% boost, I believe, starting out. So that's going to feel really good for a lot of these scalers.
Yeah, 100%. And I mean, 2 kills on your Lucian when he's already controlling the lane very handily. Like, what more can you ask for at this point? It's great stuff that's happening for 16-Bit, and this is exactly what their win condition was. If you remember talking in the pick and bans, I said, as long as Gang 7 don't get smashed, well, their bot lane is already in a very prickly position. I mean, first Infernal Drake, 2 kills on the Lucian. You have to expect now the ball is in 16-Bit's court to push through.
Oh, but here we go again. Whoa, gets the hook as well. Gonna go super low and actually jumps in with a void. Strong. Catwife says, hello, third kill. I now have a 200 gold bounty on my head.
Hey, I mean, that's exactly what you want. It was a bit of an overzealous engage from Woe, and unfortunately giving his life up again. This isn't going to lead to much unless Sejuani starts the Rift Herald right now. Looks like she will, and you can expect Kayle is not going to contest this. Riven is being pushed at the moment, so that might just be a free Rift Herald.
Yeah, that very well might be, and it's actually surprising to see that happen with a Sejuani. You never really expect Sejuani to be the one taking a lot of these clears on her own, but with the ability of the Frostbite, I believe, or not Frostbite, it is just the amount of neutral camp clearing speed that she has. It is very possible that she can take a lot of these on her own, and she just has picked it up. You hear the noise there, so that is going to be Rift Herald at 11 minutes.
Yeah, and what a great pickup. You have the right tools in your hand if you are 16-Bit. Just want to see them commit to one side, hopefully catching Gang 7 off guard, put the Rift Herald down, maybe even get a successful dive off of that.
And it really has to go to show, Woe is definitely not having the greatest game this time around. Before on that Rex side, a lot of beautiful games, a lot of beautiful dives. The Void Rushes were on point, and this time around, already down 0-2, it seems that 16-bit were kind of testing the waters a little bit with how far they could, or how quick they could get away with certain, gangs, certain jumps, and this time around, they're executing perfectly, I feel.
Completely, and I think we have to talk about the lineup coming in here from Gang 7. You still have this Kale that's not paying off at all. And unfortunately, I feel like they're going to start bleeding gold now. You can expect the Rift Herald to go down in, I feel like, either the mid or the bot lane. And that might just give even more control over. I can't see what the next dragon is right now, but it's coming up in a minute and a half. Okay, so it's going to be Infernal. So that's actually ridiculously impactful. Hopefully 16-bit can pick that up, and having a 2 Infernal lead, that's just going to help you throughout the entire game.
Well, it's not just that, it's the amount of pressure and the global vision that they're getting right now. You're starting to see the bottom lane of Catwife and Kayusuf start roaming into the enemy jungle a lot. You're starting to see them place down the wards, get a little bit of vision here and there. They're already prepping for the dragon that's coming up in a minute and 5 seconds. It's just they have the ability to do that without needing the jungler, I feel. Like, this is huge.
Half of this is off of the back of Kai. Oh, wow, what a game!
Oh my gosh! And the Glacial Prison skirted by will win. And that's going to signify a massive push in the bottom lane, and that's going to be probably first tower for 16-bit esports as well.
And that's it. Just like clockwork, they do exactly what you had wanted to see. They commit to one side of the map. Oh, ability power. If you can make it out here alive, that would be very good, but
yeah, wow, oh my gosh, the damage is real, and the burn is there, but ability power actually gets the Hemoplague, is able to survive, and that is a tower dive negated by ability power, but Waffles is going in, actually flashes forward, gets the kill there, but that still means that they're losing a lot on the bottom side of this map. Gang 7 saying, all right, we'll try something in that mid lane, and 16-bit esports say, okay, we'll take it. We'll take 2 towers and another kill as well as Drop has a flash away, jumps off onto the Will Win, and the auto attacks are coming out fast and furious from Will Win, but it's not enough as 2 towers are down. Teleport has been channeled. In comes Sicko with that Blade of the Exile going out. The damage has been done. Woe jumps all the way on the back line to get 1 kill onto Ellen, but the rest of the team is here now. Poppy roaming all the way down, actually running. So Shaden has joined the fight, but that means Infernal Dragon is on the table now, and this could be the chance Gang 7 has been looking for.
Yeah, but I don't think...
Oh, big hook actually lands, and the stun as well. Great CC chain on Will Win. Still has heal, and the flash as well. They want this dragon as well, but the health bars are extremely low. Hook goes out, misses just barely. In comes Waffles though. This is a 5-on-3. Dragon is still hitting all the members of Gang 7. In comes Vladimir as well. Ability power trying to get it, and the auto attacks are big and heavy. Waffles throwing out everything that he can. The ability power jumping all the way to the back line. He gets it, but he pays with it for his life as well. Shaden goes down in the blink of an eye. Hook goes wide as Rob goes golden, but it's not going to be enough as Catwife picks up his 6th kill of the game. In goes Sicko, though. He wants it. He flashes. He tries to find it. The slow is almost there, and Sicko is going to keep chasing. One more auto attack is needed. He keeps chasing. The auto attacks are fast and furious, but not enough. Another slow goes out, and Kayusuf also goes golden. And all the stopwatch can't mean anything, but in the backline, Ellen is here as well. I don't think this is what you want, though. This is a tank versus 2 heavy damage dealers under the tower, and they just melt through the board. That is going to be, I want to say, 6 kills picked up in succession for Gang 7, and suddenly they are firmly back in the driver's seat.
My god, and off the back of a really great teleport from Sicko, arrived there first before Shaden, able to pick up the start kill, and that led to a snowball team fight overall. 16-bit, they were just a bit too greedy, did not want to give up the Infernal Drake, and now they end up almost giving the lead back over to Gang 7, at least another Infernal Dragon. So Dragons all evened up, only a 1k gold disparity. It was great play overall from Gang 7.
And it has to feel bad, right? You were doing so well on that bottom side. You got 2 towers, but then you overextended a little bit. You gave up Ellen. Okay, you can give up the jungler, but then you tried to contest Dragon, even though you were 3 members to 5, and you wanted it that badly that you think you can win, and they just, again, hard overextended. It cost them big. Waffles picked up 3 kills and I think quite a few assists in that fight as well. That's so damaging. He is now completely back in this game.
Definitely, and I think that's partly due to 16-bit sort of losing the context of what type of game they want to play. They're not in it for the Infernals, because Infernals really start to kick in once you get to that late game, right? But that's not what 16-bit needs at all. They need to keep the stranglehold, and honestly, it was a bit of an overextension in the bot lane, right? They got capitalized for it, and they lost their Sejuani. And you have to give up the dragon after that, right? You have to cut your losses. You have to just say, okay, at least we can maintain this gold advantage, not the dragon advantage, at least just the gold advantage, and hopefully play it out better from there. But just some bad calls overall. And you look at the play, and I sort of give it back over to Gang 7 now because they're very even and they scale much better.
Yeah, and it's not only that, when you give over a dragon like that, you don't have to worry too much. Again, you don't want to, but you always think, okay, it just evens out, right? It's a 7% buff to a 7% buff,
Right.
or an 8%. I think it's 8% to 8%, right? And you're just like, it's not that bad.
Yeah.
It sounds bad, right, saying that, because you never want to give over Infernal, but it's just like, all right, it evens out. That pretty much negates everything that you were trying to do. It just goes right back to even. That's kind of how you have to look at it. And instead, they give over so much, I feel, and that's just hampered them quite a lot.
Yeah, so we'll have to look to see if 16-bit can get back the lead again, but you've got to expect it's an uphill battle, and this Kayle already 3-0-3 and about to get her second core item halfway there. Level 12? Like, she's already a ranged champion.
Yeah, it's also crazy to look at the itemization as well. Even though that fight went in favor of Gang 7, Catwife still online has the Essence Reaver plus Bork. So he's going to be outputting a lot of damage as well as getting all those auto attacks down as he wants. On the flip side, Infinity Edge only for will win so far, but that's all that he really needs. And Ellen with that, still trying to complete that first item. Gonna feel pretty bad about that until he's able to do it. Great spell shield, making sure that Wilwyn stays safe.
Yeah, definitely. Wilwyn not opting for the Essence Reaver, in this case for the Infinity Edge, and that will give her a lot of damage alongside the Kayle. That's going to rip through any frontliner. Like you said, Ellen down in items, and he really needs that durability when you want to get on top of the Sivir, on top of the Kayle, because they're so slippery, especially with the extra movement speed and the heal coming out from Kayle.
And Waffles honestly has played this decently well. Although that tower dive in that mid lane didn't work, it still gave him enough pressure to actually secure a gold or a CS advantage now. He's now up 15 CS. He has 3 kills, and if we could get the gold differences up on the screen right now, I believe he's close to 1k over ability power. Yes, actually 1.3k, only 300 gold off. But still, that is a massive change from the early game, right? That is something that you definitely want to see on someone that's supposed to scale up, that's supposed to powerhouse through everything.
That is, and the problem with this Vladimir now is a lot of his gold efficiency came from the fact that he can melt backlines. You have a Kayle, and that's going to protect your backline very well if you are on the side of Gang 7. It's going to take some great play from the side 16-bit to really take a hold of this game again.
Yeah, and it's also just, again, mistakes on both teams' parts, right? Early game, it was the mistake of Wilwyn finishing the recall when Rob got stopped. In that, about 13 minutes in, it was that team fight extension that 16-bit Esports decided to take that gave Gang 7 a window back into the game. And it's just constant mistakes being driven by both teams that it's not becoming who actually has a cleaner engage, it's becoming who capitalizes on a mistake more.
Definitely, and this is why I actually see a small problem with the item build coming out from Catwife. I would have loved to see the Infinity Edge, but it's going to be the Essence Reaver instead. And while this does give you cooldown, and that will help in extended engages, I don't really necessarily think that's what you need. I don't think you want extended engages, because I actually give that over to Gang 7. They have 2 monster range carries that can shred through any frontliner. So if you play front to back, if you play that engaged team fight, that prolonged team fight, you're going to lose it, right? So you just have to pray, okay, let's make a pick, and Infinity Edge would have worked much better if you're trying to capitalize on a pick.
That is very, very true. As we see the pink ward battle has begun already close to the Baron mid lane. It looks like 16-bit esports have a little bit better in on that mid lane, gonna get that tower, but ability power actually taken extremely low. Tries to get a little bit more damage off, has to burn the ghost.
Wow.
The flash is not enough as Waffles picks up his 4th kill of the game solo. Beautiful job, especially with the Hextech gun blade picking up that kill, pulling both summoners out of ability power.
All right, sound the alarms. We have Kale online now. Whoa, what a gauge!
Yeah, and a beautiful Glacial Prison locks out Wilwin, and that's a good turnaround, but that still means that they burn quite a bit for that kill. They get the mid lane tower, but that still leaves Waffles on that bottom lane pushing extremely hard. If you leave Kale alone long enough, they will take the base.
And I think this is because 16-bit feel like they're caught between a rock and a hard place. They're going for even more here. The Baron, and actually you only have the Braum and the Rek'Sai. You did have a recall from Sicko, and he is in position to teleport. We'll see if it comes out. It's going to have to.
This is a beautiful play coming out, I have to say, because of the fact that they knew he was still on the bot side. They know that he has to run all the way here. This is a beautiful coming out. They could get this. Rek'Sai is looking forward to tunnel, and this could be a big steal. Is he going to get it? He gets the steal! He picks it up for his team, and Gang 7 get Baron! Oh my gosh!
You have got to be kidding me. You know what? I think I might be ready to call it here. That's going to add another at least 5 minutes of life to the side of Gang 7, and that's exactly what they need. They need to scale up more. Beautiful steal coming out, and that's exactly what you wanted Woe on the Rek'Sai to do, right? You weren't in position as a team to contest the Baron, to do a 5v5. So you go for the 50-50, you win the coin flip, and you're right back in it.
Yeah, and I'm not even sure if that was a contested Baron, because I think Ellen, it looked like Ellen did not have the smite up. It might have been up and just had a secondary charge, but that is huge as Shaden is now getting soloed out. That is an immediate signal of doom, as now both solo laners have immediate pressure for Gang 7.
Yeah, you nailed it. Both solo laners able to win out their 1v1s. We saw Kale do it earlier against the Vladimir, against ability power, and now Shaden losing out to Sicko on the Riven. That just spells disaster because Baron is up, and they're going to lose at least 2 towers off of this.
Woe was just being nasty right there. I don't know if you saw that, but Woe was hiding in the bush and was like, my red.
Yeah.
Not yours, my red.
That's a hard yoink right there. And Waffles, he looks at it, he likes it.
Oh, he is. The auto attacks are going down fast and furious. No summoners. Wow. That's just a burst heavy. Kale says, hello, goodbye, my friend. And ability power is sent back to the gray screen. Good hook goes out, lands on a hit on Marab, and actually Kayusuf goes in, doesn't see the rest of them. The Glacial Fissure is enough and lock it down. The concussive blows makes sure Kayusuf can't go anywhere. He didn't have flash, so it didn't matter anyway. Flash forward, and the ultimate actually lands. Glacial Fissure locks down one, but the Void Rush is there as well. And one more auto attack does it. The flash coming out of Catwife is enough to signal the retreat. Wilwin actually takes 2 tower shots. Rob as well takes 1, and that's going to signal a triple kill for an already fed Catwife. He is now 11-1-1. Beautiful job so far at keeping their carry in this game.
Yeah, completely. And if you had asked me 30 seconds what was happening, I would have said like 16-bit were falling apart at the seams. I think they really had no answer to deal with the split pushes, losing like everything in their jungle as well. But finally, you find a good fight, and Catwife is able to pick up, like you said, 3 more kills. It was a triple kill. And now he is your silver lining as you're coming into this mid game. 11-1-1, but a 400 gold bounty. So if Gang 7 can pick that up, that might just be the whole team fight.
Yeah, and you know, it is silver lining, as you were saying. It's very much that one small chance for 16-bit esports to pull this game out. They are still ahead in kills, but the gold advantage has swung heavily in favor of Gang 7. There is no way to output it. We're seeing the gold up on your screen right now. Yes, the only one holding gold over their opponent is Catwife. Everyone else is in the red. We see a 4K difference. That's actually where it's negated. We see a 4K difference in the mid lane going over in Waffles' favor. And on the top side, we see a 3K value.
Baron is still up, so Sicko is actually just free to take this inhibitor, and Baron just timed out there, but that's perfectly fine. Going to get the inhibitor back off, and you should say now, okay, at least 16-bit should pick up this dragon, go back to base quickly, but I think they're going to be contested here.
Yeah, no, actually, Gang 7 took that away, and that's going to be the auto attack. Glacial Fissure is there, as well as on the hunt, gets the entire team away. Oh, Waffles said, hello, I'm going to use the Blast Cone. Ability Power says, okay, bye.
Wow, yeah, and just nothing picked up for the side of 16-bit. We might see a collapse here onto the Riven, but Rek'Sai's there as well. Gets played the Ring King.
Whoa, actually in the wrong place at the wrong time, but in comes Waffle says,
whoa,
the auto attack's going out. Look at the bleeding damage coming out. This shred damage is enough as the Keeper Verdict does get Waffles out, but that doesn't matter as the damage has been done as Whirlwind jumps all the way forward and gets the auto attacks down. Waffles now with the rest of his team. This could signal the base breaking open as the second inhibitor is going to go down.
That is a great win, and off the back of your Riven as well. Sick engage coming out from Sicko of all people. And
can they end?
They look like they want to.
Can they end? Oh my gosh, Waffle just saying get out of your own base. Thank you very much. And the ultimate is there to keep him alive. Takes 2 towers. Might actually end it, and that is going to be it, ladies and gentlemen. In 2-0 fashion, Gang 7 say thank you very much. You gave us the power picks. We will take this series.
That's a whoa coming out from me. Just like that, another somewhat abrupt ending coming out, but it was such decisive play overall coming out from Gang 7, and I think that's why they edged the wins out overall. They found these leads. In the game 2, you could see it was definitely, they found the lead, and they could really grasp a hold of it because they had such great scaling. And you look at the other side and you say 16-bit, well, they had the lead and they sort of dropped the ball.
They did, and just that overextended fight, we're seeing two teams that really know how to punish engages and bad plays, right? Mm-hmm. We saw it back and forth again. This is not them saying, okay, we know how to fight, we know how to do all this. It's, all right, both teams are still struggling to find the proper engages, but they know how to back up a counter engage, which I think says a lot about how their style of play is going to transition into the later stages of the season.
Yeah, definitely. And some great play coming out from Gang 7. I'm definitely looking at Waffles to be the MVP of that series overall. Look at the game 1, sick Pyke performance to control that mid lane, start pushing that towards the rest of the map, and that was him popping off in the game-winning team fight of the first game. Second game here on Kayle, playing it low-key, just trying to scale up, but like you blinked, you woke up at 20 minutes and oh, he's 3-0-3, you know? Like he got through it all. He managed to pick up kills as well, obviously off the back of some poor engages from the side of 16-bit, but overall, like going Kayle into Vladimir, not dropping even a kill, like going deathless and picking up kills on your own, like great play from him overall, and I would give him the MVP.
I would as well, and it's been a beautiful performance for them. We'll have to see if 16-bit esports are able to come up again in the latter stages as well. We'll have to see if they can try and make it happen in week 3, you know, extend their lead. They are now tied at 1-1 apiece, but we will be seeing if we can we will be seeing if there is going to be another upset of sorts, as next week we will be seeing Dramatic Jade and University of Delaware face off on our broadcasted match. So go ahead, tune in then. That is going to be March 28th at 8 p.m. EST. So don't miss it at all. But thank you so much for tuning in tonight. My name is Ordle. This has been Switch, and thank you so much for watching our cast of 16-bit esports and Gang 7.